Hey guys, this is my beautiful Rhaphidophora Decursiva and it's looking gorgeous, but I think a lot of us are having one consistent issue still with our beautiful Decursivas, and that is when the leaves are curling. And in this video, I want to address what you can do to fix this issue if you are experiencing it so that you are providing your Rhaphidophora Decursiva the correct conditions, care tips, care conditions, and addressing this leaf curling issue if you are experiencing it. And I'm going to be also throwing in all of the critical care tips that you should be providing this houseplant. So if you're interested in all of that plus more, all right guys, since repotting this houseplant, my Rhaphidophora Decursiva, and staking it up, if you haven't yet seen that video, I'll be sure to throw up a link right here. But since then, and since doing that, this plant has been thriving and flourishing. I'm getting big, beautiful foliage with much more fenestrations, which is very exciting. However, that being said, I still am experiencing some leaf curling. Now, I touched on this very briefly in my last video, but I wanted to really go through and give you guys some tips and some advice so that you can basically address that issue if you are experiencing it yourself. Now, beyond the leaf curling issue, I do want to share some of those more important and critical or sort of baseline care tips when it comes to caring for your Rhaphidophora Decursiva. So I'll be sure to include those as well. And basically, this is an amazing houseplant. The goal for me really is for this plant to really grow, climb, and become that sort of dream plant with the huge foot by foot long leaves with, a zillion fenestrations. So I've got a long way to go. Part of what is going to get me there is just really taking care of this plant and ensuring that it's very happy. And unfortunately, if there are leaves curling, that's a really great indication that there is work to be done. So let's jump into what all to look for and what you can do about it. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tyler, and if you like what you're seeing or you find this video to be useful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, or better yet, hit that subscribe button. Now, to really show me some love, click on the bell for alerts and notifications for future content. And don't forget to check out my merch page, tylermossop.com. All right, guys, so when the leaves are starting to curl, or you have more leaves curling, for example, on my plant right here, you can see that there is ever so slightly some leaves down at the base of the plant that are starting to curl. And ultimately, at the end of the day, this is usually the location kind of lower on the plant that the leaves begin to curl. And ultimately, this is a humidity and watering issue. So if you are experiencing curling leaves, this is something that can be addressed quite easily. It's definitely a sign or an indication that it's time to water your plant. But where it gets a little bit trickier is your soil composition, the humidity levels that you have for your Rhaphidophora Decursiva, and the kind of quantity as well as frequency of your kind of watering routine. So let's start with the soil composition. Using a really good aeroid mix. Definitely check out that repot video that I did where I kind of go through and break down the different ingredients for your soil. But having a soil that is very well draining and has good aeration is key for this plant. So by having this type of soil, when the leaves are starting to curl, like I said, that's kind of a sign that it's a good time to water your plant. And by having good drainage, when you water this plant, it will enable the water to kind of flush through the root system, but not sort of stay there. You definitely don't want root rot. So what I would advise is once you start to see the leaves curling, that's a really good indication to water this plant. I would suggest, obviously, watering is a function of light. the humidity levels, and kind of all of the other conditions. Okay, so assuming that your Rhaphidophora Decursiva is getting the correct light that it needs, and because if the leaves have curled ever so slightly, it does take the plant some time once it's being watered for them to kind of unfurl and kind of look more of what we're expecting them to look like. So here is the best advice I can possibly give you. Now, what I would recommend is watering your plant. Probably, like for me, I would water this plant maybe like a cup and a half of water. Let some time pass. So come back to it the next day. If the leaves have straightened out and they look really great, then that's perfect. You've watered it the correct amount. However, if it's been a day or two and the leaves are still curled, then what I would recommend is probably watering it a little bit more, and then that way wait another day or two to see if, again, the leaves have unfurled. I think this is kind of to iterate and to do a little bit at a time is the best way to obviously not overwater your plant, but ensure that you're giving it the right amount of water that it needs. And I've really found that at the end of the day, this is a watering issue as well as a little bit of a humidity issue. These plants do obviously love a lot of humidity. So if you can give them, 60+% humidity, then that is great. But by, like I said, iterating and giving it a little bit of water, letting some time pass, and then if the leaves have unfurled or they're not as curled, then you've kind of figured out the right amount. And then moving forward, you can really start to develop the cadence and frequency of the amount of water and also the timing in which works best for your situation and for your plant. So I think this is really the best way to tackle these curling leaves. And I want to jump in quickly to some of the other care tips, including lighting and fertilization, just so you guys can get a really good idea of all of the different things that this plant kind of expects and the conditions that it really does want. So I've already touched basically on the soil composition. Using a really good aeroid mix is key. Another great tip obviously is using a container with good drainage. These plants do prefer kind of a deeper container, so something that is not shallow but has, so the roots have room to kind of go down and deeper into the container is perfect. Now, we've obviously talked a lot about watering and humidity, and what I think we can touch on beyond that is lighting. Now, mine really loves really great bright indirect light, so I'm not giving it direct sunlight. That would obviously burn the foliage. But in this room behind me, I do have a nice large skylight, and this guy does sit under it, and it just absolutely loves soaking up all of that sun. So if you don't have a skylight, what I would recommend is keeping it inset from maybe like a south-facing window, so it still is getting a lot of really good bright indirect light, but you're not overdoing it and damaging the foliage. So I think those are some really sort of baseline or critical care conditions that are really important for the Rhaphidophora Decursiva. Have you experienced this leaf curling whole phenomenon on your Rhaphidophora Decursiva? If so, definitely drop a comment down below. Leave a message, let me know what your experience has been. Have you been able to kind of troubleshoot and solve this issue with humidity and watering? Well, that's it for me. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Better yet, you can hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and leave a comment down below. And oh yeah, don't forget to check out my merch page, tylermossop.com. Miss you guys already. Until the next one.